Hello, welcome to Carolyn's Art. I have something so terrific for you tonight. Did you notice on the opening shot this beautiful cardinal that's done on this glass? This is called reverse glass art, and I have a very special artist and a very special friend here for you tonight who's going to demonstrate and share with you this technique. Before I introduce Tom, though, I want you to take a look at all these beautiful paintings behind him. These were all done by Tom. They're all in reverse glass, and they're absolutely beautiful. This is my friend, Tom Lanto. And Tom, you're going to do this demonstration for us and share as much as possible, right?
I will certainly try, Kate.
All right. I'm going to get out of your way so that you have plenty of time. And how long does it take you normally to do one of these?
Normally, if you take your time, a couple hours. But I'll try to get this one done in an hour or a little less.
But the normal person who is not as experienced as you could probably...
Oh, yes. Anybody can do this style of painting. You'll see how simple it really is.
All right. I can hardly wait. I'm going to get out of the way, and Tom's going to show you how to do this.
Now, like Carolyn said, this is reverse glass. In other words, we paint on the glass itself. Tonight I'll be using oil paints, a thick oil paint, and I'll be using Indian ink. I'll be using a rapographic pen to do my etching with the ink. Now, normally in painting, you do the background and you work forward. On reverse glass, you do the opposite. You do the foreground and then work back. So what I've taken a glass that's already in my frame. I find the easiest way for me to work. And I've cleaned it with a window cleaner twice on both sides to make sure there is no body oil or any other smudges on the glass. I take a piece of plastic, clear plastic, and with my rapographic pen, which has any ink, I put my name on it. I then slide it on the glass about where I would like to have it. And tonight, like what she showed you, is the morning cardinal. I've etched the morning cardinal on a piece of paper, and I put this down flat on the glass, and I turn the whole glass as an over, and I have a little padding on the paper so the glass will be tight against the paper. I take my rapograph pen. What I like about this is that we can turn it around. Maybe it's best if I do one more thing first to help it out. I should maybe tape my paper to my frame so when I do turn it around, it'll work a little better. It won't slide on me. A couple small pieces of tape to hold it in place. And this will help out a great deal. Now I can flip it back over. Now, when working with ink on glass, if you make a mistake, you can always wash it off with a little water. And like I said, we do everything backwards. I'll start in by putting my name in the bottom first. Make sure my ink is flowing. We always, on rapographs, move sideways, never up and down. And here we go. Now she's flowing. A little more difficult underneath these hot lights. And all you do is follow the lines that you've already drawn. And we got my name in there. When doing birds or animals on glass, we usually start with the eyes. Draw a small circle, so later we put the paint in. There we go. And we block in the eye with India ink. You might hear a little scratching noise on the receiver, but you're not hurting the glass, you're not hurting the point. And all these little lines that I have drawn from the original picture, I just trace onto the glass. You don't have to trace them perfect. All you have to be in the general order of where you have placed them. This is a very very enjoyable form of art. You can do it right at your dining room table. And you don't need a real lot of room. And for people who like to sit down, it's even more enjoyable. You see, it goes on very fast. And all I'm doing is tracing my little lines in here. Now, the longer you hold the pen down, try to hold it vertically as possible, the more ink will come out and the deeper and thicker the paint will be where you would like to have it. No problem, my pen here tonight clogging up. There we go, now she's loosening up. Over here, okay, come on. Reverse glass has been around for a long time. Some of the earlier type of glass paintings was in Europe, in the churches. The cathedrals had all the stained glass, and of course the smaller churches also wanted the beauty of the light coming through the windows showing all these wonderful colors. So they went to painting glass, and of course that glass is actually baked on. And I'm looking around in town here, I've noticed a lot of churches in town have got painted glass on their windows. And painting glass it's been used quite extensively through many of our things other than art. In the 19th century, and they used a lot of painted glass for lampshades, the beautiful roses, and such. And they also use reverse glass in the early movie industry as backdrops on their sceneries. And in the early 20s and 30s, you might have noticed in maybe your grandmother's home or your great-grandmother's home, paintings of Dutch boys and Dutch girls that were silhouetted and had silver background. Majority of them had black frames, you know. Later, they used reverse glass in modern movies like Indiana Jones, had a lot of reverse glass in it. Also Star Wars. So it's still very popular in many industries, especially on the East Coast and West Coast. Reverse glass painting is very popular because of the possibilities of what you can achieve with on glass. Tip it one more side over here. Yeah, I'll do it this way. Like I said, the pen has to be almost vertical when you apply the ink. Makes a lot of noise, doesn't it? Now this pen I'm using is the size is a 0 over a 0.35, which is the average size pen. They go from almost needle size to almost a broad size pen like you would normally use for in your pocket. You can also use quills if you're handy with using a quill, applying the ink. And as you can see, we almost got half the bird done already. And with plenty of practice, I mean, anybody can do this style of painting. I said, you don't have to follow all the lines exactly. Now, as you can see, yeah. Okay. I might have been doing something wrong. Too wet? Okay.
Keep talking.
You keep talking? Okay. This cardinal, like I said, is a morning cardinal. And the reason his one wing is up in the air is because the sun has not quite risen yet. And he's stretching out there first thing in the morning to get ready to go hunt for his seeds and worms and whatever else he's looking for in this particular day. Yeah, here's the little claws. I only had two, but I'll make him another claw right in here. And one right here. Oh, I do need that towel again, don't I? And he's sitting on a pine tree. It doesn't matter if the lines don't match up exactly. As long as you have a general idea. Put little bark shapes in here. Okay, we want to go this way here with it. Put the fork in the bark right here. Now we have needles. I think I've got this thing pretty well set. I'll remove this picture. And you'll notice it does not look identically alike. And this is where, once you remove the main picture, it will look a little weak, a little faded. And we can go back in and darken around this eye area here. I want a little more darkness here. Around his beak. In the area where later I know I'll be, whoops, here I forgot one line, didn't I? Go in like this. In the areas here, I know I'll be putting a couple of different colors of red in. I will highlight it with even more of the dark ink. That's where he had his head last night when he was resting it, tucked in underneath his wing. Add a few more lines here. If you miss something, you can always add them in. I want to add a little feather action around by the claws. And then down in here, at the base of the tail, about three stages of dark coloring. This will enhance the other colors later on and give it a nice, beautiful effect. One thing about this reverse glass is, especially with this ink, when you have it hanging on your wall and the light hits it just right, that in the ink just pops right out at you and it makes it look like real feathers. I hope it's not disturbing the engineer too bad, this scratching sound. Okay. And I want to do one more set up here. Okay, how does it look now? I'll take one more quick look over the whole bird. I'm going to add a little more dark in here. Now, if I wanted to eliminate anything, all I'd have to do is take a cotton swab with a little water and rub it in there, and that line would come right out. But I think I got everything pretty well set the way I'd like to have it right now. Okay, got the curlicues on the tips here. There we go. Now, one more thing I got to remove. That's my name, don't I? The colors I'm using tonight is cad yellow medium, Naples yellow, a cad red light, and I found a real bright red, cad red medium, a burnt sienna, a burnt umber, a raw umber, a black, and a white. Basically, I'm using a half-inch sable and a couple of little different liner brushes, and I'll be using a blending brush if I want to touch up later on with these items. So I'll get my thinner up here. I have a little jar of thinner and a sponge inside the jar. And we'll start in with a liner brush and my white paint. If you care to, now if somebody go on these needles, and if they wanted to make them green, you could add the black and a touch of your yellow to make it green, and apply it to the needles before you do anything else, and let it dry, and then paint the other colors in. Because like I said, reverse glass, everything in the foreground is first, and you work to the background. Okay, we'll start with a little white, and we're going to put it around the eye, the little dot I left open, around the outer edge of the eye here. Give a little highlight. Okay. And that's basically it right for now for the white. And I'll move into another brush. I'll use another brush here. I'm going to use I'll use my smaller sable. This used to be a half-inch, but it's pretty well worn out. And go into the black. Load up your brush. And the cardinal has a black feathers here. Now when applying it, go to the same direction that the feathers would normally flow. And I will bring it down to here, around the eye, around where that white was. Now it may appear to be a little thin, a little watery, but that's okay. There's another step later on that will solve all these problems. And we'll go back with the flow. A little more around this part of the eye. This is the important part is the facial feature of the bird. Once you grab that, and everything else will seem to fall right into place. Rub it off. That sponge helps clean the brush very well. I will then proceed to take a touch of the cad yellow medium, and I'll be putting it on where the beak is. Just dab it on, get it close to the lines as possible. If you go over the lines, it doesn't matter, what you've already painted. I wipe my brush. I'll go into the maple yellow and do the bottom part of the beak. a little bit lighter in coloring. And while I'm at it, I'm going to add my colors for my claws of the bird. I remember I put the claws right here, didn't I? Yes. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3 there, and these claws over here are a little bit more forward, a little bit bigger. That should take care of my yellow. Now we can start going into the brighter colors. The cad red light, you'll find it on the top of the head. And go as if you have the feathers here in this direction. A nice red on top of his head. He's a very proud male. In the cardinal family, it's the males that have all the bright colors. Okay, now I'm going to just wipe it, and I'm going to the bright red I have here. This bright red is great for this cardinals, but it's also great for clowns and the likes. But once I get the head done here in the main part of the body, then we'll go into the wings and the tails, and you'll see why we're using different colors. Now, on the main part of the body down here, I'm going to the cad red medium, and I'll be using some burnt sienna with that to give it a color transition. Now, his down here, I'm just blocking a little bit so I know about where I'm going to have to go with this color, and along the wings. Okay, burnt sienna with some red, and gives more like a reddish brown, and it's right here. Okay. It's not hard, and if you go over the line a little bit and you smidge it over there, no problem. That'll be all corrected later. The thing is to get the nice colors in here, the bright colors, so it'll stand out at the end. A little more of this red over here. Okay. Now underneath this tail section, go a little more of the burnt sienna down here. Lock it in there. Go up to the lines. I don't know how well the camera is picking this up. There is a 3-color transition here. Get rid of that napkin. Now we'll go again. This time we'll be starting on the wings. On the wings, you will find that it has a light color red, the dark color red in the medium, and back down to the light again. And it'll be both identically on both sets of wings. So we'll start off with the cad red light, and I'm going to fill it in here like this. That's the first stage. And I'll put some more over here, because this wing here is spread out. I'm going up to these first lines here. And it looks like I'm making a mess here, but that's all right. It can all be cleaned up at the end, and nobody will ever know. I next go to now between each section of colors, I am going to be leaving, or putting in, a burnt sienna, or maybe a burnt umber in here. I'll be putting a burnt umber in here. And then my next color, burn umber, and my next color, so that there is you can actually see a transition within the colors themselves. So I'm leaving a little space for it. Excuse me, I'm going to my bright red next. And I'm going to be putting that in right through in here, up to these feathers, right up to the side. Now my bright red on this one here would be basically the same area. So I'll be going through here. I'm leaving a large space at the present time for my burn umber. I can bring it up to the hair more like this. Then my medium red, you put right in here. It's just a little bit darker than my bright red. And I think I may have put it in the wrong color, in the wrong section. Well, I did put it in the wrong section, so I'm going to remove it. The one thing about making mistakes here, you can take them right out. Get my ink, put a few lines back in. And I'm telling you to be careful where to put the lines in here. I'm making a mistake myself. And you just put it right back in again. Now I'll go back and put my colors in the right position. Okay, that was the bright. And the bright goes here. And it'll all come together. But at the very tip of the wings, I want the light color again. Wipe excess off, go into my medium red. Put that right down in here. Okay. Now I'm going back to my light colored. My light color will be down in here. But I'm leaving a little space between the colors for that burnt umber. I'm going to turn it just a little bit so I get this here. At home, with this paint, I use a cobalt dryer. It helps the paint dry overnight so that I can finish the project the next day. Now, a little bit over here. And I'm going to bring this here down over here a little bit more. And where he had ruffled his feathers while he was sleeping. Since I still have the red in my brush, I'm going to finish up on the tail section. We'll go the bright color red down here in the base of the tail. So if you go over light, don't worry about it. I'll show you how we fix those up later. A little darker. We'll put up in this section right here. Okay, and a little darker. Get underneath here. And this bottom part of the bird contained a little burnt sienna and the red, which makes it even darker yet. Okay, now I can clean this brush and go to the next dark color. I can clean this brush. There we go. I said we were going to use raw umber in that area. And all we do is block it in. I wanted it a little darker this time than what I had at home. You could use raw umber, you could use burnt umber, either one. Because it also helped, when we brush it together later on, some of the red will be picked up in here. And so it'll look more like feathers. We're just blocking it in now. This side here is the same way. I'm using the darker color so that it might help the camera and help you at home see the difference in transition of the different colored reds. Maybe a little easier. And then down in here. We go down to the lower tail section, and the same thing. Like I said, at home I use a drying agent, so this would dry overnight. A little bit up here. It's basically the bird. We're going to go back into the white, and we're going to start doing these branches. The easiest way to do the branches is to use white, and I'll use burnt umber for the branch. I load up my brush with the white. Oh, looks like everything getting clean enough, is it? Come on, sponge, get it clean. With white, I do the top part of the branch, and I'll be coming back, and I'll be doing the bottom part of the branch with the burnt umber. I see a little mistake I made. I missed one of his claws, but we can go and put that back in a minute. And we'll have one more over here. It's fading off. Like I said, I'm going to bring that claw back in where it belongs. Go back to my little liner and go into my yellow. I missed a claw right here. Okay. We want to give him just two claws. Wipe the excess paint off. I'm going into this burnt umber. I'm doing the bottom part of the branch, And I'm mixing it in with the white. And all the other little areas I have left here, this is what the color is going to be. Mix it in with the white a little bit. When it's turned over and you see the actual side that the picture is on, hopefully it'll be a blend of colors. If you wish to, you could also use black and make everything all look like a gray. Have a little more of a reddish tint. Maybe it's a red pine. There we go. And over here, I might put some black in. I'm going to put some black in where these nubs were over here. And a little bit more over here. And like I said, we were going to add a little more brown in this area in here. And I wanted to go a darker color where these little nubs were up here. And I think I'll go in there with some black, mixed in with this other color. Right off the same brush. That black a little bit. And do these areas right in here. And up in here a little bit, I want a little darker color in here. Here and there. And some of this work will be a lot easier if you do it with a liner brush. Okay, and we're going here a little bit. All right. Now, if you're on my angle, I don't know about your angle, but my angle, I can see a lot of spots in here that have to be touched up. This is my thinner and my little sponge, and so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start touching up some of these spots. I'll continue using my sable, and I'll be using a liner. And like I said, I'll be using the mop brush. So as I look over the painting, I can see a lot of spots I've missed. I'll just go into my CAD red light, like up in here, bring up to the lines, add a little coloring here and there, in here, going with the same flow in the same direction that the feathers are in. So I like to get a little dark in there. All these feathers are not just perfectly one color in nature. They have a little bit of a color hue to them. And one color will blend in with the other color. A little more paint. Yeah, at my angle here, I can see a lot of spots, and lots of spots that I had missed on this light color. And where I've gone over the edges, but like in a few minutes I'll show you how we can correct all those little mistakes over the edges. Now, these other lower feathers here, right on the edge. And we'll bring this light colored red up here. And bring her in here a little bit. Blend with this other red. A little problem right in here. I can see some lines, or I should say areas not being painted. And on the skull here, or the head, between the black and the red, there's spaces that have not been touched at all. And just for just a quick brushing, I will take and a little of my black, and I'm going to blend it in this way here. So some of the black will be dragged into the red along the lines here. Normally at home I would be taking this picture and turning it upside down constantly to make sure the colors are matching, but if I did this here at the studio, I'm afraid we might have a little problem with the glare of the lights and the twisting of the glass. Now, like I said, I'm going over the whole painting, looking for areas that has to be touched up and brighten up a little bit, little corners, little nooks that I have missed. Now, let's see, have I got the bird just about all done here? A few more spots. This is where the blending brush comes in handy now. You'll take, and with light brushes, swirl over paint in the directions of the feathers are supposed to be going. Clean one. Light touches. Let the paint drag just a little bit from one color into the other. It's strange because this painting, and what you're seeing here is what you believe you're going to have, but it's not. It's going to be turned upside down, and what you're going to be getting is what's on the other side. So it truly is a reverse painting. A guy like myself is a little backwards anyway. This is a great painting for me, this type of art. And we can go this way here. I'm going to turn the glass a little bit, and I'm going to try to concentrate on the other wing. And we can brush these colors together. To tell you the truth, I really don't know and how it's going to look on the other side yet. I'm dying to pick it up and turn it over to see what it looks like. If it gets a little too thick, we bring it back the other way. And a little bit over here. I'm trying to find all my little holes, all my little marks that I have here, and get them filled in. At home, you would be lifting it up and putting it up to the light. Aha, here I see something. The actual white of the eye has not got the full amount of white in there. So I'll clean up my brush a little bit. Dip it into the white. And get the other part of the eye right there. Okay. Now we'll come down here, dip it one more time. And we'll try to blend some of these colors in here. Put the little spaces that are filled in. The blending brush for that. this blending brush is really the best when you use it on furry animals. Okay. Now I think we will fill in any holes we have in the tree bark with my liner. Going back into burn umber. Oh, yeah, a little more darker here. Burn umber, Tom, burn umber. There we go. Along the bottom of the bird, there's little spaces there. I can see them from here. I don't know if you can see them at home or not. I want them all filled in. And all these little spaces. If I go over, that's all right, that's fine, there's no problem. If you go over, I'll be showing that in a few minutes, how we fix all those little problems. Okay. Underneath the body of the wing here and along the claws. Okay. Over this side we have a few more little points. I think we'll leave it go at that for right now. And we come in with our magic tool that we use to correct our mistakes, and that's the Q-tip. While she's still wet, we raise it a little bit, and we can wipe it out. You go through a lot. If you're messy like me sometimes, you go through a lot of Q-tips. Don't make it too fuzzy. Okay. Don't be afraid to use the Q-tips on these things. Okay, they'll help hide all your mistakes. I know it seems like I'm throwing away too soon, but I really am not. Just a little bit, pick up where you've messed up a little bit, and it's takes care of the problem. Well, now I'm going to work on a tree branch a little bit here. Get back in line. I'm going to make a quick look turnover to see what it looks like. And you see there's all kinds of lines in here, all kinds of brush strokes. And how we solve that problem is we take, after it's been dried, oh, come on. Uh-oh. Oh, wrong way. Here we go. And what we do is we apply a second coat of paint. And that'll hide all those brush marks. Now I based it in one solid color for the whole bird, and I based it another color for the tree branch. And that'll hide all your mistakes. Then again, you clean it around the rough edges, and we have it pretty well set.
I'm going to sneak in here behind Tom. You're just about finished, aren't you?
Yes.
Let's hold that up again and let everyone see what
This
it
one?
looks like. Yeah. When you just do it.
Okay. Like I said, there's a lot of brush marks in here.
Isn't that beautiful?
But it'll be fixed when you put on your second coat of paint.
I really love all this little fine detail right in the bark, right in there. That's really beautiful, Tom. I am so pleased that you shared that with us. Before the end of the show, we want to make sure that we have some really nice close-ups of Tom's work for you that's on the wall back here. So before the credits roll, we have a really nice, tight close-up of each one of these beautiful paintings back here so you'll be able to see it. But before we go, I want to introduce you to two other people. Tom has his lovely wife, Kathy, and his daughter, Ann, here tonight. Kathy, Ann, would you like to come up here? So we wanted to introduce them. How long have you been married, Tom?
August will be 18 years.
18 years. I've got you beat.
It seems like a week.
I've got you beat. April will be 29 years for us. This is Ann. Come in a little bit closer to your daddy, honey, so we can get you in. And this is Kathy, Tom's wife.
All right. You want to give her that bag?
This is for you.
Oh, my God. What have we got? Oh, I love surprises. I love this.
This is...
Oh, my goodness. Can I open it now?
Open it up and pull up from the bow.
The Thompsons.
Pull
Pull up on the bow?
No,
Oh,
there we
open
go. There we go.
Oh, I ruined it, didn't I? Whatever it is.
We can fix it in a hurry.
This is a picture of my home. Look at this. Oh, help me hold this.
Hold it back,
Ann.
buddy. Yeah. We can fix it in a minute.
Look at this.
Hold on.
Can you get a close-up of this
I need this.
picture? This is of our home. 7333 23rd Avenue.
Remember what I called the other day?
Yes.
Larry? You wonder why would he want just my home?
He told me you called and asked what our address was.
This is some more glass work.
Oh, is that beautiful? Look at this. The Thompsons.
The other side.
And then it has our home on it. Oh, you sweetheart. Thank you,
I got
Tom.
the idea from Diane Jacobson in Franksville Bank, because she wanted the one done for her daughter's house.
Uh-huh.
And I did quite a few during the Christmas holiday.
That is absolutely just as sweet as it
I
can
don't know
be.
if the camera can pick it up.
How did you keep this a secret from me this long?
This?
I'm surprised I didn't find out about it. When we were setting up, I didn't see it. You must have really hidden it.
Yes.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
Did we get a nice close-up of it?
You gotta hold it still, baby.
Okay, honey.
Yes, nice.
Let me look at them on. Ann, can you move your head a minute,
Move
honey,
it.
so I can look
Back-
at There
back
we
down.
go. What a nice... Is that beautiful? That is really sweet, Tom. Thank you.
Okay.
Very, very sweet. Well, that's all for this show. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, sharing this reverse glass painting and meeting Tom and his family. And we'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye. Keep
Bye-bye.
painting.